Welcome back to Top 10, where big questions get real answers. Today, we're diving into something foundational. Top 10 questions non-Christians ask, and how to answer them. Whether you're a believer wanting to defend your faith or a skeptic exploring truth, you'll want to stick around. Faith isn't blind, and Christianity invites hard questions. So today, we're walking through 10 of the most common objections to Christianity and offering biblical, logical, and evidence-based responses, backed by leading Christian thinkers and scholars. Number 10. Isn't belief in God just wishful thinking? Many skeptics argue that belief in God is merely psychological, something we invent to cope with fear or suffering. But just because we desire something doesn't mean it's imaginary. As C.S. Lewis argued in Mere Christianity, if I find in myself a desire which no experience in this world can satisfy, the most probable explanation is that I was made for another world. Ecclesiastes 3:11 says God has set eternity in the human heart, pointing to an intrinsic longing for transcendence. Alistair McGrath, Oxford theologian, affirms, "The existence of desire does not disprove God. It invites us to consider that our deepest longings may be signposts to the divine." Christianity doesn't fear psychological insight. It recognizes that human longing gives evidence of a higher reality. Number 9. If God exists, why is there so much suffering? This is one of the most emotionally charged questions. Scripture doesn't ignore suffering. It confronts it head-on, from Job to Jesus. The Bible shows that pain is part of the fallen world, but not without purpose. Romans 8:28. In all things God works for the good of those who love him. Alvin Plantinga, in his free will defense, argues, it's logically possible that God could not create a world with free will and yet no possibility of evil. Suffering, though mysterious, is not meaningless. As John Stott said in The Cross of Christ, I could never myself believe in God if it were not for the cross. In the real world of pain, how could one worship a God who was immune to it? Christianity uniquely offers not just explanation, but a God who suffers with us. Number 8. Hasn't science disproved God? Many assume that science and faith are at war, but this is a false dichotomy. Psalm 19:1. The heavens declare the glory of God. John Lennox, Oxford mathematics professor, responds, far from disproving God, science reveals order, design, and intelligibility, traits that suggest a rational mind behind it all. Consider the fine-tuning of the universe. Parameters for life are so precise that even atheist physicist Fred Hoyle remarked, a common-sense interpretation of the facts suggests that a superintellect has monkeyed with physics. Christianity isn't anti-science. It was the worldview of pioneers like Newton and Kepler who believed that because God is rational, the universe he made is understandable. Number 7. Isn't the Bible full of contradictions and errors? Critics often cite discrepancies in the Bible, but these often stem from misunderstandings of context, language, and genre. 2 Timothy 3:16. All Scripture is God-breathed. F. Bruce in The New Testament Documents, Are They Reliable? Writes, there is no body of ancient literature in the world which enjoys such a wealth of good textual attestation as the New Testament. The New Testament has over 5,800 Greek manuscripts, far surpassing Plato, Homer, or Caesar in manuscript evidence and dating. Craig Blomberg, New Testament scholar, notes, alleged contradictions usually disappear when we understand the author's intent, cultural background, and idiomatic expressions. Rather than crumble under scrutiny, the Bible shines with historical and literary credibility. Number 6. Isn't Christianity just one of many religions? Religions may share some moral teachings, but they make fundamentally different claims about God, salvation, and reality. John 14:6. I am the way, and the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. Ravi Zacharias emphasized, all religions are not the same. All religions do not point to God. All religions do not say that all religions are the same. Christianity is unique in claiming that God entered history, not just with moral advice, but with a rescue mission through grace. Nabil Qureshi, a former Muslim, said, The gospel is not about what we do for God. It's about what God has done for us. Truth by nature is exclusive, not intolerant but logically coherent. Number 5. Wasn't Jesus just a moral teacher? Some try to admire Jesus while denying his divinity. But that option isn't open to us. John 10:30. I and the Father are one. C.S. Lewis presented the trilemma. A man who was merely a man and said the sort of things Jesus said wouldn't be a great moral teacher. He would either be a lunatic or the Son of God. Even non-Christian historians like Bart Ehrman admit that Jesus' followers clearly believed in his divinity from the earliest times. And let's not forget, Jesus was crucified for blasphemy, not kindness. His resurrection validates his claims. Number 4. What about all the hypocrites in the church? Yes, there are hypocrites in the church. But Christianity doesn't claim Christians are perfect, only that we're in need of grace. Romans 3:23. All have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. Brennan Manning famously said, "The greatest single cause of atheism is Christians who acknowledge Jesus with their lips and walk out the door and deny him by their lifestyle." But don't judge Jesus by those who misuse his name. As G.K. Chesterton said, the Christian ideal has not been tried and found wanting. It has been found difficult and left untried. Number 3, isn't the Old Testament God angry and violent? This concern often arises from reading judgment texts without their moral and historical context. Exodus 34:6 describes God as compassionate and gracious, slow to anger. Paul Copan, in Is God a Moral Monster?, explains, these were not acts of genocide, but divine judgments after centuries of warnings, targeting militarized, corrupt regimes. The same God who judged Canaanites sent his Son to offer salvation to all, including those who would crucify him. Number 2. How can a loving God send people to hell? Hell is not about a vengeful God throwing people into fire, but about God respecting human freedom, their free will. 2 Peter 3:9. He is patient with you, not wanting anyone to perish. J.P. Moreland clarifies, hell is God's great compliment to the reality of human freedom and dignity. C.S. Lewis put it this way in The Great Divorce. The doors of hell are locked on the inside. God does not force heaven on those who reject him. Hell is the tragic consequence of a freely chosen life apart from God. Number 1. What if I still have doubts? Doubt isn't a sin. It's a sign that you care enough to ask hard questions. Mark 9:24. I believe, help my unbelief. Tim Keller said, a faith without doubts is like a human body without antibodies. Faith grows through honest questioning. Cliff Nechtel encourages, ask your questions. Christianity has nothing to fear from honest investigation. God is not afraid of your doubts. He welcomes seekers. The Christian faith is built not on wishful thinking, but rests on the evidence of the historical reliability of the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. These questions matter. And the answers aren't just intellectual, they're deeply personal. Jesus invites you not into blind faith, but into reasonable trust built on evidence, history, and love. If this video helped strengthen your faith or sparked new questions, let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Top 10 for more content like this.